Well, hello, everybody. And once again, welcome to the show live. I'm your host, David Burrows. Thanks so much for being here, stopping by. And I've got lots to talk about, fantastic things always on this show, because that means we've got some incredible people that we're going to have here. I say it every week, and I'll say it every week anyway. I look forward to Mondays. Some people go, oh, it's Monday. Exciting times every Monday, because I always have fantastic people here, and I get to share it with all of you. So thanks for stopping by. I see that, what do we have out here already? Let's say hello to our friend Teresa. Hello, Teresa. I haven't seen you in a while. Yo, back to you as well. That's the other nice thing about this show. If you've got some things that you want to share, you can share your comments. But what you have to be doing is watching. I put my horns up, just above my horns there. You got to be watching from that very specific link, and then yeah, I'll be able to see all your comments, etc. Right? So I'm just getting a few things organized here. I know I should probably do that beforehand, but hey, what the heck? Keep it interesting, right? All right. As you can see over to the one side of me now, I'm very excited for this. I now have closed captioning on my show. So for some people who might need that service, I'm very happy that we're able to have that here this time. And we're going to be having it all the time. And I've got some new exciting things coming up on my Twitch channel. If you don't know what Twitch is, just go to DAV Burrows, davburrows.live, and that will take you to my Twitch channel, which is typically a gaming platform. Gamers broadcast them playing video games, but they've opened it up to the rest of the world. If you're painting, or hey, if you want to talk about photography, whatever you can do and create, you should be a part of Twitch. It's very exciting times over there. And I stream 3 nights a week, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. Sunday night is called Twitch Talk. So I interview people from the gaming world. We talk about live streaming and the whole world of Twitch. And then Monday nights, it's father versus son night. Yes, my son, Jason, I call him the BOY. Well, he likes to kick my butt in video games, but we have a lot of fun and entertaining. And Tuesday nights, if you're not a gamer, come on by Tuesday nights. We have game night. That's right. I have games that you can interact with during the broadcast just by typing in certain things in the chat, and you can participate. We play, we're going to be doing some murder trivia. I mean, it's Halloween month, right? So why not do some of that? And we play a marbles game. It's a marbles race. That's right. A marbles race that you can participate in. And I know you're thinking, marbles, really, David? Like, that's, yeah, pardon me, I'm making some noise here. So yeah, you should come on out and join us for that. Speaking of Halloween, it's Nightmare. Did I do that really well? Okay, I'll stop. It's Nightmare on Michigan Street. This is put on by Rotaract, and they're inviting you to join them this Friday, October the 26th. Just figured out on Facebook. That's how you'll find them. Or stick around after the show. I usually post all the links to everything I talk about in the comments after the show as well. And then if that's not enough, it's Zombie Fest. The Sarnia Public Library Theater puts this one on all the time, and that's happening on Saturday in the afternoon. Just go to the Sarnia Public Library to find out more about that Zombie Fest. Give me your best. I don't know. Can you type in the comments your best muhaha? How would you type that scary voice? Anyway, it's not me. See, we're just having fun around here, right? The Sarnia Sting, boy, they've been having a tough go this year so far. You know, they've had not total losses, but it's been a rough go the past week and a half. And again, it was tough this past weekend, as Friday night they fell to the Owen Sound attack, which they were looking for some payback there. It didn't quite go their way. And then yesterday, Sunday afternoon, was a Sunday afternoon game against the London Knights. And this is always, well, it's a hockey rivalry, if you will, between London and Sarnia. And my friend Jake Chersky actually joined me on the commentary this week. And he said, you know, when Sarnia and London play, it's like nothing in the past matters. It's like the Memorial Cup between these two, Sarnia and London. And it was a really close game. You know, the first period, the London Knights got the first goal, and then it seemed like the Sarnia Sting were going to come back really strong, as in the second period. First goal within like 31 seconds, and then another goal was 2-1, but unfortunately they fell at the end 4-2. And we're fortunate enough to be able to do some post-game interviews, and we caught up with one of the players, Mitch Elliott, who's a defenseman for the Sarnia Sting, and we're going to take that interview right now. Take a look.
Here with tonight's second star, Mitch Elliott. Again, I thought a pretty good effort from you guys, and maybe deserved a little bit better than that, but unfortunately, no points on the night.
Yeah, I think we did some good things again, but we got to put 60 minutes together, and we didn't do that tonight.
And London Knights, it's going to be some rough stuff that happens there to be expected. And your thoughts on the game, I guess, as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of good things. Started the game the way we wanted to. Got a goal in that first shift. But it's just, we have to play, committed in all three zones. And, I think we need to tighten up our details, especially in our own end, and take care of the puck back there. I think we're generating chances. But we got to stick with it when we get down like that. We can't try and change our game. We got to play the same way.
At the same time, you've had the good things. You've been rewarded, especially early in the season, with some really good hockey. Even in the last few weeks, we've seen some great hockey. Just the results haven't quite been there. But for you guys as a team, is it encouraging to know that if you guys do stick together and play a strong 60 minutes, that the results are going to be there, and that you guys can play with any team in the league?
Yeah, there's been bright spots, no doubt. In each game, you can find a positive. But it's a results-oriented business, and we got to find a way to get wins. And we haven't been able to do that recently, so we got to find a way to get back in the win column.
There's been a lot of goaltending changes through a lot of these games this year. How does that affect the defense when there's a lot of changes going on between the pipes?
It's out of everybody's control. It's up to the coaching staff, and it's up to us to stick together as a team and play the same way, and play good hockey in front of whoever's in the net. So,
dominating first period tonight, out of there, you're still just tied. What is the impact for the guys playing that well and not having a lead?
I think it just shows how much parity there's in this league, and you can't take a shift off, and that's kind of been the story of our season so far. Is when we get up, we let teams back in pretty easily, and then when it's a tight game, we've ended up on the wrong side of it, more times than not. So, it's a tough league, and there's a lot of good offensive players, and you can't really take anything for granted out there.
I know you touched on it earlier that you can get positives from each game. Looking ahead to taking on Flint next week, what positives do you take with this one?
I think our compete level was good tonight. I think we battle hard every night. I don't think it's a lack of effort ever, but it's just bearing down and taking care of the details. And I feel like our effort will always be there. Our young guys have played well so far, but in order to get everybody a little more confidence, and a little more.
All right. Well, as you can see there, Mitch Elliott, the defenseman for the Sarnia Sting, talking to us about what they need to work on there. So go Sting, go. We're at all the home games. Myself, I'll be there the next home game and all the home games for the entire season. Typically, my friend Jay Peckham joins me, but when he's not there, my friend Jake Chersky joins me for pregame, intermission, and then, of course, always the postgame comments as well. I want to say thanks to our friends at Blackwater Coffee here in Sarnia for all their support, and my friend Dan Tidball also at DT Freight Express helps us bring those Sarnia Sting comments to you. I've seen some questions out there about how am I doing things in the broadcast. I appreciate the questions and stuff, but this isn't really where I talk about that stuff. If you want to learn more about that stuff, that's when you watch me earlier today at 12 o'clock noon, where we talk about live stream broadcasting. But I do appreciate your questions for that. And I welcome all your comments about what you're seeing here on the show. We're going to have some guests coming up in just a little bit. My first guest today will be JD Booth from LambtonShield.com. He's got his new publication out now, just moving beyond the digital world. And then Dave Brown from United Way Sarnia-Lambton will be joining me. And then Stephanie Purdy and Cecile Robb from the Ladies Fall Expo are going to be my final guest today. But first, I just want to share a couple more things with you. SWIF is going to be joining us. We had Rav Srinivas on here. SWIF is the Southwestern Ontario International Film Festival that happens here in Sarnia at the Imperial Theatre on November the 8th through the 11th. This is their try to be me, their fourth year. There you go, bringing this to Sarnia, and we're thrilled to see them back again with some very special movies. And the first night will begin at Great Lakes Secondary School with the opening of a film called 8th Grade. So if you want to find out more about that, just go to swift.ca to get the information on that. All right. Well, as I mentioned, my first guest is someone I've known for quite some time, and he's been a part of the community, and we're going to talk to him in just a moment. Let's go to Community Matters. Yeah, Community Matters, where we talk to people in the community that make a difference and make positive things happen here in our community. And JD Booth has certainly been a part of doing that here in our community in many different ways. He started LambtonShield.com back in 2010, and now he's enhanced that with a paper publication, or more, I should say, a magazine publication, this one right here that I've enjoyed. And some might say, why would you go into that world, the print world? Well, JD talks to us, and we're going to share that interview with you right now. Take a look. Well, this week on the show, you know, in a world of digital, you would think that putting out a publication of a magazine might be from the past, but we're going to prove you wrong here today as we have our friend JD Booth. He is a journalist, author, writer, and publisher and editor of the new Lambton Shield. JD, thanks for being here.
Thank you, David.
It's exciting and interesting times, as you know. I know LambtonShield.com began back in 2010, and now you've made the decision to go paper, as we would say.
Yeah, well, just to be clear, the digital LambtonShield.com will be bigger than ever, but I've added print, and the main reason, because I know you're going to ask this question, the main reason is really to provide more awareness or achieve more awareness for the brand called Lambton Shield. Yeah. So it's a business-oriented publication. It's been, as you said, it's been around since 2010. But when you think about it, other than, you know, the social media, which I think back in 2010 certainly wasn't as prevalent as it is today, how are people going to hear about something if they're not, you know, if there's not a print copy of it? They have to be aware of the website, and existing media in Sarnia-Lambton is not going to do me any favors by letting people know, hey, there's another one out there. Go check it out.
Yeah. Well, I think the first part of it all just comes from people go, really, paper? Like, I mean, this is not paper. This is a glossy magazine, well put together, well designed. But it's more of an enhancement to the already existing LambtonShield.com.
Yeah. I guarantee, I know this from talking to people. It's been mailed to every business in Sarnia-Lambton. It was distributed at the Outstanding Business Achievement Awards, as you know, because you were there.
Yeah.
And it's being distributed at the Sarnia Legionnaires home games and other high traffic locations. So for a debut issue, it is getting a lot of traction.
Yeah, and I just got handed a few out at the Sting game last night, and it's nice to see the support too. Because I looked through this magazine. Well, first of all, let's talk about the front cover of Lambton Shield. Really unpredictable, good timing.
Yes,
of Lambton College being there.
It's a lot more fun when it's good timing than bad timing, right?
Yeah. And I've seen like Blue Water Powers in here, Marilyn Gladus supporting. There's a lot of different local businesses in here. It's got to make you feel pretty good to have the first, the first publication of Lambton Shield out and getting that good positive response from the community.
It is, and it's gratifying. It was a good experience, and we're already starting to work on the second issue.
Yeah, I guess timing was important in all of this.
Well, the hook was the Outstanding Business Achievement Awards, because that was a big event, and it was an opportunity to, I had permission from the chamber to make it available at that event, and that meant that I had to walk back on deadlines, which
Right.
is what I've been doing for 40 years. So.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, let's talk a little bit about yourself and your background. I mean, this hasn't just been a part of your life. This has been your life.
Well, certainly from a career standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to an event, a homecoming university event next weekend, and it's been 44 years since I graduated. So the first half of my career was spent working for organizations who needed good communications work done, and that brought us to Sarnia in 1985. Dow Chemical was pretty active in the community at that point. They're no longer a presence in Sarnia.
No.
But my career since then has been kind of a mix. I was editor of an existing business publication here in town for 4.5 years. So that has made me. People know me. A lot of people know me. Not everyone knows me, but I think if you put the two of us together in a room, there would probably be more people know us than not.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I've been doing freelance writing. And then in 2010, decided to launch the digital version of Lambton Shield. Well, I wouldn't have called it the digital version, because that was Lambton Shield.
Right.
.com. It has been fun, but I continue to do other things too. I mean, I'm also senior editor of a magazine in Michigan. That's all done online, although that is print as well. And it's been fun. I enjoy what I'm doing.
You're what I would call, here I am going to label you. An eclectic writer, because I say that because you don't just have, like, some people just write about sports and some people just write about history. You have a wide range of topics that you like to cover. You just like telling stories. Well,
I think if it's something that's interesting, and particularly in this community, then I gravitate toward it. As you know, I'm not a sports person. And I'm not a music person. I tend to, if I'm listening to something, it's usually the spoken word.
Right.
So what I would say I gravitate toward is the community, like you are, but in a different. You're mostly music, and you have all you have all the stuff I don't have. But my big three, as I've said a lot of times, my big three is I want to leave this place better than it was when I arrived. Yeah. And secondly, the only thing that I do reasonably well is to tell a story. And then third, I want to make enough money, and I think that's important, that money is the last priority. Make enough money that I can do the first two things.
Yeah. Well, you've certainly been able to do that. If you go back over the years, I mean, 8 years later, here we are, and talking about an enhancement. Where do you get you're busy with this? I know this has taken a lot of effort and work to pull this off. You're really reaching out to a lot of people on a regular basis and just asking the question, "Can I talk to you?"
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that it's a system yet. Okay,
Right.
I do have a big whiteboard that I recently bought that has been helpful, and I I come across business, the OBIS is interesting because the next issue of Lambton Shield print is going to emphasize the Outstanding Business Achievement Award winners. So
Oh, okay.
I've already got a couple of maybe 2 or 3 podcast interviews, because you and I know this because you were my first guest on my podcast
I do remember that.
almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Years in January. And what I found now, which is kind of interesting, is that if I start with a recording, a podcast, then I can do the podcast, and it's really I've got it down to a system where it's fairly easy to do. I record on my iPhone using a lav mic for each person, and I just have a conversation. Well, that then can be repurposed into, it's essentially my notes for a feature story that could be either on, let's start with the print, because this is the going forward plan. Start with print. It's a story, it's a podcast on the website. It's then a story in print, and it points back to the original conversation on the website, which then raises awareness and people discover the digital property, and we have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. I like that word you used in there, repurpose, because there are, and that's, it's something in my world that it gets used a lot, because there's just so many different ways to share what you're doing. And in this case, so many different ways to share a story. I guess that when we talk about enhancement to Lambton Shield, have you added a bit of a new audience?
Well, that's
because of this.
Yeah, that is the absolute intention.
Yeah.
Is I'll just give you an example, because I live in Brights Grove. There's a food land in Brights Grove.
Okay.
People who live in the area know, and there are stacks of various publications. The Real Estate Guide, which, by the way, I just found out yesterday, is ceasing operation.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And there are some other publications there. And I went in and I said to them, could I leave some copies of Lambton Shield print? And they submission, and it's not anything fancy. It's literally on the shelf of the window when you walk in, but it's a high traffic area. Michael Rondinelli, who I think you know, he's a local dentist. He was a winner last year of the OBIS. So I did a podcast recently with him. That will be at some point a story in the print Lambton Shield. And he's got an entrepreneurial family. So most of the connections are around people doing business in this area. Because I mean, none of us would be here if it wasn't for a business.
I couldn't agree more.
We got to earn a living, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people come here for jobs, or they're born and raised here, and they go to work somewhere. Maybe they can't find work, but business is an important part of life. It's not the most important, but it is important.
Well, it's its own economy, right? So
Exactly.
it's important in communities for sure. Pardon me, there's always a risk factor involved in business. How much of a risk was this for you? Like, did you I mean, you're married as well, so you probably had a lot of conversations there, do I or don't I, what if, and all of that. What was the process for you that got you to say, I'm going to do this?
Well, you're right. I have someone who's very near and dear to me, who is at least as concerned, maybe more, about keeping on a budget than I am. But I basically, so it's a kind of an interesting story. Matt Bassoud of Country Road Graphics, so now it's CR Creative. He was doing what I refer to as a pop-up magazine. It came out twice a year. It was called Life Inspired. And it was, it was really a lifestyle magazine, or general interest.
Right.
And he's done some rebranding of his organization, which is out in Wyoming. And we knew each other, but we didn't we didn't know each other, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He knew who I was. I knew who he was.
Gotcha.
And he's actually in the location. There used to be a Yamaha dealer out there called
right.
Mitchell, and it's closed. He bought the building, and so he's there, and he's growing like crazy. So we found out about, or he had mentioned to someone that he didn't want to do this anymore. It was no longer strategic to his business. At the same time, the person he was talking to said, hey, JD's interested in doing a print version of Lambton Shield. You should get together. And so once I talked to him and I knew what it was going to cost, my hard costs, then it was a matter of me going out to some key institutions, companies, organizations, and they're featured. I did a shout out to them in the first issue. Blue Water Power, Sarnia-Lambton Business Development Corporation, Libro Credit Union, and I mentioned Blue Water Power. Lambton College was the fourth one.
Right.
And that really gave me, those were really very quick, yes, we want in. And then I was able to convince enough people, pretty much based on my reputation and the idea for Lambton Shield, that it would turn a profit.
Yeah. Well, and that's always good news too, because now you take some of that and put it towards the next issue. I wanted to ask you too, we talk about a lot of different topics that you like to talk about. Politics is something that you kind of stepped into that world as far as writing goes, at least with the online version. Are we going to see some of that here in Lambton Shield magazine as well?
I'm going to say probably not.
Okay.
And the reason is, and this, we're getting into opinion now. People aren't generally very civil when it comes to politics.
Well, we've seen that.
There's a reason that the old adage, religion and politics don't go well in conversation with people. So I would prefer to deal with topics that bring us together, not tear us apart.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I just I wondered if there was a plan there. Well, it's fantastic, well put together, and it's great to hear the success of it. I'm sure I'll be walking in a coffee shop somewhere, and I'll eventually be seeing these around. So I think it's fantastic. As you and I've had many conversations, I know before you decided to make this move, I was glad to see that you finally got to that point with it all. Congratulations, all that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Enjoy your day.
I appreciate your time as well. Thanks so much, JD. JD Booth, he is the publisher, editor, he's a writer, he's a journalist, he's a lot of things, but now he's got Lambton Shield magazine out, so keep an eye out for it. I've got some that I'm going to be distributing as well, so if you need one, and you come and get one from me. Thanks so much again, JD. Any final words before I let you go enjoy your day?
Well, people, I love hearing from people. You can send me an email, jd@lambtonshield.com. Love to have a conversation.
Fantastic. Once again, JD Booth. Might help if I turn the sound on. My friend JD Booth, catching up with him earlier this week. That's one great thing about live, right? It's like if you miss the key on the piano, you just keep going, right? It's okay to laugh. Fantastic job he's done with LambtonShield.com, which is originally started online back in 2010, and now his first issue publication, the magazine version of Lambton Shield. You can pick them up at different arenas. We'll be seeing them in coffee shops. And I've usually got a couple issues in my car. So if you catch up with me and you say, hey, give me one of those, I'll be happy to give you one of those. Thanks again, JD. And looking forward to the next publication coming out next month with Lambton Shield. All right. Well, moving on to my next guest. Actually, we just talked to him at a hockey game, and here he is again. He's joining us monthly here on the show. Dave Brown from United Way, bringing him online right now.
Good afternoon, David. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. I panicked about a minute ago when I saw your lips moving and no audio. I thought, oh no, it's got to be my end.
I have one of these. I don't know what it is, but I seem to have this problem forgetting to unmute. I did a show the other day on Twitch, and the first half an hour was quiet.
Oh no.
So somebody came on and said, "Hey, Burrows." But anyway, it is what it is.
Right.
It was good to see you at the hockey game. I don't know if you were the jinx.
Oh, I hope not. I mean, it was a great game up until that last part there. So hopefully it wasn't the jinx. Hopefully I'm invited back.
Well, I hope so too, because you guys, when you're there, you've got you were there doing the Chuck a Puck raising money, and you had Nova Chemicals was there helping you out.
Nova Chemicals was the game sponsor, and Nova Chemicals, the employees, retirees, they all do so much for our community and through the United Way. So it was actually them that were selling all the Chuck-a-Pucks in support of the United Way, and of course Nova Chemicals matches all employee and retiree donations. So they actually also matched the Chuck-a-Puck proceeds. So it was a great day for the United Way, and we're so grateful to Nova Chemicals.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, that's the kind of community support. I mean, we say community, but I mean that's corporate community too. That's fantastic when that level is kind of coming around to.
Sure is.
I know you and we have a lot of conversations, and maybe we repeat ourselves sometimes, but that's okay because we got to keep continuing to get the message out to the public. And the first one being that all the money that United Way Sarnia-Lambton raises stays right here in Sarnia-Lambton.
It's all used locally. That's right, David. And and that's the same case with every United Way in the world, including one of the newest United Ways in Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. But it's more than that. Not only is the money raised in the community, used in the community, but it's a local board of directors who make the funding decisions and set the budgets and set the policies. So it's more than just the money raised in our stays in our community. The fact that decisions are made right here too.
Yeah, and let's talk about your team. You couldn't be doing this alone. You've got, including yourself, 5 people?
There's just 5 of us, which is a small staff for raising over $2 million. Plus, we have our United Way Future Fund, which is an endowment-like fund. That's run by the same 5 people. So I'm really proud of the team here. We all work together. We're always willing to jump in and help somebody out get over to meet a deadline, and we produce great work. Of course, we're grateful for the volunteers, our board of directors and our committee members, and all of the canvassers.
Well, it takes a community to make it work, right? And I guess surrounding yourself with the right people, it seems to what the United Way Sarnia-Lambton's been able to do.
Absolutely.
You have about 19 agencies and about 35 services that those agencies provide.
That's right. We do 3-year funding for those 19 agencies, and currently we're funding 35 programs and services. But we also provide what's known as a venture grant. And your viewers may not be too clear on what a venture grant is. That's 1-year short-term funding for an agency or program that's not currently being funded. They may have developed a new need in our community, or perhaps they've lost government funding. They could apply for up to $30,000 in 1 year. They still have to measure their outcomes. So we have to, we want to make sure that the money is going where it should and that we're getting the desired results. And that's open to anybody who is in good standing with CRA in Sarnia-Lambton and has a charitable registration number.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So right now we're funding about 4 or 5 additional programs in addition to those 35 through this venture grant program.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, no wonder then, pardon me, no wonder then your goal that you announced a little while ago is to raise $2 million locally.
Right.
And I know that was the goal last year, and things
Right.
were coming a little short, and then the community came together. Are you on track this year for that?
Well, we're actually a little bit behind. In fact, we're still not quite at the first $1 million. We're about $7,000 away from $1 million. I was really hoping, David, we'd have some breaking news for you for today, but we're still 7,000 short of that first $1 million. We were October the 12th last year when we reached that first $1 million. So we're monitoring the situation very carefully, but we think it's just an issue of timing when we get some of the interim results from some of the larger industrial campaigns.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you could be on track. You just don't know yet.
Yeah, all we know is 10 or 12 days ago last year, we were at the $1 million mark. And right today we're at about 54% last year. So we're going about 4 to 5% behind last year, which is about $100,000. But I mean, we could get a large corporate gift in tomorrow and be right back on pace. So that's what I say. We're really monitoring the situation closely.
Well, again, it's nice that the corporate world steps in, but it's really every I can't really say pennies anymore. Every nickel counts, right? And that's coming from the the employee programs, but
Yeah.
uh, fundraisers are a big part of what you do as well.
It is. Just getting back to the payroll deduction for a minute. We always say a little of pay goes a long, long way. Because when you look at 26 or 24 pays a year, and if we can get 50 or 75 or 100 new people, it sure adds up in a hurry. But we do some events. And of course, the locally Lambton dinner sponsored by Libro Credit Union for this Saturday is completely sold out. So we're thrilled to make that announcement here on the show. So we're really pushing now our Pasta Fest, which we partnered for the first time with the Dante Club. And on Thursday, November the 15th, we've got the Pasta Fest. You can eat in or take out. Tickets are only $15. And we encourage people to give us a call and register their tickets at our office at 519-336-5452. But of course, welcomes are also welcome.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm kind of bummed that I didn't make the one that's going to be happening this week, but I got a chance on November the 15th. You guys like food?
They do well, including in our employee campaigns, whether it's a pasta fest or a chili day or a barbecue. Inyo Star Revolution held a nacho bar last week during lunch, and that was a nice treat.
Okay. So I want to make sure I got it's 336-5452.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to put that up on the screen. So if you want to get tickets for that, in advance is always better, but you can show up at the door, and that's a Thursday.
That's a Thursday night, November the 15th, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then, of course, 2 weeks after that, we've got our stair climb. And this is brought back for a second year. So you can build up your carbs on the 15th, and then on Giving Tuesday, November 27th, you can work those carbs off.
That's fantastic. Where does that happen?
Well, that happens over at Sandy Lane, the Drulo Apartments. You can go up and down as many as 3 of the apartment buildings over there. It's based on the successful CN stair climb in Toronto. But ours is better, David. As I think I mentioned last month, you could quit after the first building or after the second or after the third. Once you take that first step at the CN Tower, you're pretty much committed.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's encouraging that if I take part in yours, that I can get off at any floor I want.
Right. And take the elevator down. Exactly.
Yeah, well, and like, do you have a medical team on hand? Or
We do. CJ, who was with the Red Cross, will have his first aid team available just in case something happens, but it's unlikely. But they will be there, so we're in good shape.
What about somebody like myself? Like, I'm self-employed, but I'm one person, so I don't really have a payroll. Is there something that if I said, hey, I want to give $5, $10, $20 a month, like, can it be automatically withdrawn somewhere, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we could do it using your debit card and withdraw it monthly from your bank account. But more and more people are having monthly debits off their credit card. That way, at the end of the year, they can claim points.
Yes. So give and get back too, right? At the same time, it's kind
That's
of
right.
a win-win. And my wife, she'll be into that.
I'm kind of into that myself.
That's perfect. Is it challenging sometimes to, there's always a fundraiser going on in this great city that we live in, and
Right.
there's a lot of people we want to support, of course. And the United Way is a great one because it supports multiples. But is it challenging to keep being creative? Not doing the same fundraiser and over again, or do you just keep going with ones that work? Or what's the process in saying we need to do something new?
Well, and almost every event is on its own merit. You're right. Coming up with creativity is a challenge sometimes. Other times we just tweak an existing program that we've got going. You're right. It can be a challenge. It really could. This is my 33rd year. So yeah, I've had 33 years of saying, we're cautiously optimistic, or we're 10% more to go, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fantastic. Well, like I say, you've got the team support there, and you've got some great volunteers on the board of directors. And folks, we want to help out the United Way. They're a little behind this year, so we'll be posting the links that you can reach out to Dave Brown and on Facebook and all those different locations. I know you're on Twitter as well, so you're easy to find.
Absolutely. And, a quick search on Google, United Way Sarnia, and we're the first one that comes up. So absolutely. And I love hearing feedback from donors and volunteers. And so certainly if any of your viewers have any questions online or ideas, please send them my way. I look forward to hearing from them.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to throw out there before I let you go, Dave?
I don't think so. I just hope to see everybody out at the Pasta Fest and the stair climb. And I think I'm going to be on the following week right after the stair climb, so I can tell you the results from the events and where we're at that time.
That's fantastic. And please send me a digital poster if you have of all of these events, and I'll make sure that they get shared around on my Facebook as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, David.
You're welcome. Dave Brown, thanks so much for joining me. Give a big hug to your team from me as well, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
I will, for sure. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Dave Brown from United Way Sarnia-Lambton. He's been hanging around Sarnia-Lambton United Way for 33 years. Wow, must be doing something right. And it's fantastic to always have him join us here on the show. We've scheduled in for a whole year. He will join us once a month to give us updates on United Way Sarnia-Lambton and how you can show your support for them as well. Because as he mentioned, they support 19 agencies and about 35 different programs that those agencies put out there. And all the money stays right here in Sarnia-Lambton. All right, my next guest, I don't know what they've been up to because they've been sitting in the lobby and I've seen a lot of giggling going on and laughing. But I can't hear them when they're in the lobby. So who knows what they've been saying. But this will set the pace for this interview. These ladies are a lot of fun, and they want you to come out and have some fun at the Ladies Fall Expo coming up this week. And we're going to bring them on here right now to tell us all the information. Stephanie, Purdy, Cecile, Rob, how you doing, ladies?
Hey, Dave. We're great.
What's all the giggling that's been going on there?
We can't tell.
I can't tell.
It's always a secret.
It's a girl thing, right?
Because we're at my secret garden. Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
How's the plans coming for this week?
Oh, they're going along just great. We've got the whole floor booked now. We're doing wonderful.
Oh, that's fantastic. Because I know last time we had you here talking about things, you were still looking for some vendors and trying to make it work. So that's great news.
Yeah, we're happy. We're well on our way with huge support already for this great charity, Noelle's Gifts. So we're very excited. Now we just need all of you to show up.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's talk about the Fall Expo. This is the 13th year for it, I believe. And
yes,
every year there's been a charity. I can't talk. Charity of choice. But for the last 3 years, it's been Noelle's Gift. What was the choice reasoning behind that?
Well, my nephew Ron Rive, I want him to be our MC. So I had said to him, Ron, will you be the MC? And he says, yeah, on one reason that I will. And I said, what's that? And he says, you changed to Noelle's Gift. So I said, done. Yeah. So there you go. That's how it started.
Well, and I mean, there's a lot of great charities to choose from. There's no question about that. So it's a difficult choice sometimes. Noelle's Gift does so much in this community. I mean, so much heart forgiveness, I guess, that comes from Noelle's Gift. So I think it's fantastic, that they're doing what they're doing, and you're doing what you're doing to support them. What's the Ladies Fall Expo? So this is all about the ladies that night.
It is. Men can come though too. So don't let the ladies part scare anybody off. And actually, any single guys, it might be a great place to hang out. You never know. There's always an angle to work.
Look at you playing Cupid.
It's a great place. The ladies part is it's a shopping event, correct? Shopping, eating, drinking. So there will be wine tasting.
but it's a great place to shop for the ladies in your life. So you can come and get a vast selection of choices of services, choices of trinkets,
Jewelry, food, yeah.
lots. So yeah, bring your wallet, bring your credit cards.
Okay. But I'm probably going to be outnumbered. I'm going to be there broadcasting live for you and talking.
Isn't that a good thing though?
Oh yeah. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I really do. I know I've talked to some people who've been involved in the past, and just talking with you ladies about what the plans are. It really does sound like a lot of fun, and especially with the timing. Dare I say, Christmas is coming.
I know. It'll be here before we know it.
I love Christmas. I don't care what anybody says about it. I really love Christmas for a lot of different reasons, but that's a good time to come out and get some of that Christmas shopping done too, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Get a jump on things, get some ideas, connect with some local business people, some local vendors, and yeah, just get stimulated. And really, I think it's always nice when our money can stay here in our community as well. So, the more local business people you can meet gives you a connection to those gifts as well, which to me always gives more meaning.
Yeah, 100%.
And see what Sarnia has to offer.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that. And it's always great to support independent local business as well, like yourself. So you have My Secret Garden.
Yep.
Yeah, tell people what's that's about.
Sorry, what was that?
Tell people about My Secret Garden.
Oh, My Secret Garden. Oh, my God. Actually, if we could turn this around and show you everything here, we're ready. I hate to say this, we are decorated for Christmas.
Sure, yeah.
We are. We're a flower shop, but we have, it's quite a large flower shop, unusually large. So we have a lot of gifts. We have every time the Christmas comes in the back door right now, it's out on the floor because we got no room to store it. So it's out there. Lots of gifts for ladies. Decorate your home. We do classes. We're all about out in the community, and that's what this all evolved from.
And where are you located?
We're on 1362 Lambton Mall Road, right across from the Lambton Mall, the Canadian Tire gas station.
Oh, fantastic! All right. And Stephanie, you're a local independent businesswoman as well, so you can really appreciate this type of show, and you're pretty ideal. Go ahead, give yourself a plug.
I have a wellness shop. I call it my happy place in Point Edward. We're at 911 Michigan Ave in Point Edward, not to be confused with 911 Michigan Ave in Sarnia, which is somebody's home. You don't want to go there. You want to come visit us. We're on the back corner of the golf course, and I'm in the same building as the Spine and Joint Clinic there in Point Edward, and we do health and wellness. We do some weight loss. We have our Hypervibe machine, Dave, that you're very familiar with. We have our relaxation bed. We have an infrared sauna. So just a lot of wonderful things to help somebody, that might have some health issues or just needs somebody to help them with goal setting, goal reaching, that sort of thing. I've been a coach my whole life, so that's really where I focus is what do you want and what kind of program can we put together for you, or what services or products do we have that might help you along your journey.
Yeah, and I got to get back to that Vibe machine. I slacked off there, so
You don't know.
no, I haven't. And I Jennifer the other day. I said I got to get back there. Like it's just so awesome. Somebody like me has some circulation problems too, right? So that was like, it just felt so good, and it didn't take a lot of effort.
No,
Well, you're going to be there as vendors as well.
Oh, yes.
Everybody else. Can you? I know you probably can't remember a list of everybody, but can you give us a kind of a list of a few people that are going to be there?
Well, right next door to us is Ovation Shoes. They're going to be there, and they have amazing shoes. We have the girls from One Tooth. We've got different direct sales, Arbonne, Mary Kay, and
Stella and Dot, Nora. They're Casey's. Is it
Casey's Kitchen.
Casey's Kitchen.
Yeah. Connect Hearing. They're over here. They're a new place too.
We've got two fashion shows happening that night as well. So that's exciting. I'll be grooving with the group. And for those of you that ask what's groove, come to the Ladies Fall Expo and you'll find out.
Yeah. What time is this all starting? And it's this Wednesday.
It is. Yeah. Day after tomorrow. Starts at 4 o'clock.
All right. And
4 till 8 is the entire event. So you've got lots of time, so you can come down after work. The Dante Club will be serving food that night, so you can come straight from work and have a bite to eat. You can sample some wines, hang out all night if you want, or go home, put your feet up for a few minutes, and then come on back out and close out the night. Whatever.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Okay. There was just a bit of a delay there. Sorry. I mean, obviously supporting local business and the fashion show, that those are always fun, right? But this is really an opportunity to network too. You could almost kind of look at it as a way to come out and meet other local business people that you could maybe connect with and help grow each other's business, right? So,
Absolutely.
Is there going to be like besides the fashion shows or entertainment, music, or anything else that we want to make sure we get it all out there?
Stephanie's the entertainer.
I'm going to pull you up, Dave. We'll get our groove on together. So we'll go back to our Dancing with the Stars days, and we'll get some tunes going, and we'll get everybody on their feet. Now that I've got everybody scared.
Well, we're just
go ahead.
Trying to groove.
It's easy. Anybody can do it.
Right.
If you can move, you can groove. That's the saying, right?
Tagline, right?
I would like to take this opportunity too. I want to make sure we do get a shout out to Glenn Fenwick from Fenwick Motors. Fenwick Motors has sponsored this event, and so we're very, very thankful for Glenn for coming on board with his team to help support this event.
We've got his logo up there as well as from Subaru, and I made a video with Glenn. We went for a test drive in the new Ascent, Subaru Ascent, and wow, what a fantastic ride it was. And we put a video together. We're going to be releasing on Wednesday as well. So
awesome.
As well. Yeah, it turned out really well. And Glenn's just a fantastic guy to deal with. There's a lot of integrity there, and his staff, and they just run a really good business down there, and they're very friendly. So I enjoyed that time, and I know he said he's very excited to be supporting this event as well.
Good. We're looking forward to having. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, ladies, I've got to move on. Is there anything else that I might have forgotten that you want to put out there? This is your time.
It's just a reminder, the Ladies Ball Expo is 4 till 8, Wednesday, October 24th at the Dante Club. And be there or be square. We'd love to see you. Look forward to meeting you. Look forward to seeing old faces.
Be there or be square. I have not heard that since 19...
Don't be careful. You might date yourself.
All right. You're both such a joy. You've got smiles going on. You're so much fun to talk to. And I'm looking forward to hanging out with you. I'll be there live and broadcasting a bunch of things. We'll be there before it starts, actually, I believe. And then we'll be there for during as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks so much, ladies. And I'll see you on Wednesday.
Absolutely. See you then.
Take care. There you go. Stephanie Purdy and Cecile Robb joining us as part of the Ladies Fall Expo is coming up this Wednesday. Boy, I know when I get around these girls, I'm just have a lot of fun, right? So why don't you come down and have some fun with us? The fashion show is going to be on. Stephanie's the entertainment with her groove. I'm telling you, come on out. You will have a lot of fun and support local business. Get some of that Christmas shopping done. It'll be great. Happening at the Dante Club. And as Stephanie mentioned, they'll be serving food there at the Donna Club as well. So just leave work, go straight there. Don't worry about fixing your hair. Just come down to the Ladies Fall Expo this Wednesday. Thanks again to Stephanie and Cecile. Stephanie, once again, from Pretty Ideal You. Check her out on Facebook. And also, having trouble talking, Cecile Robb from My Secret Garden. They're around in social media as well. And go visit them, get some more of that. I got to go back to see Stephanie on the Vibe machine. That was just a lot of fun. All right. It's been what a fantastic time we've had here talking with everybody. I want to mention once again, yes, Glenn Fenwick from Glenn Fenwick Subaru is the sponsor of the Ladies Fall Expo. And we put together a video, did a test drive in the new Subaru Ascent. I want one. The 2019 Ascent is quite a ride, and you'll be able to see that video that comes out on Wednesday afternoon. All right. Well, just before we go, a couple things I want to talk to you about. I've got a new show on Twitch. It's not a Twitch. It's called Twitch Television, twitch.tv, where I do a talk show called Twitch Talk. We talk about esports, gaming, and entrepreneurship and marketing in that world. It's $1 billion industry that's going to be turning into the next trillion with a T dollar industry, and happy to be a part of it. Some really cool things happening in the Twitch world. And of course, our local college here has the first in all of Canada esports and entrepreneurship program, which I'm happy to say I'll be a part of as well. Very excited for that. So come on over, check out Twitch, have some fun. That's every Sunday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then Monday nights, it's father versus son. My son Jason and I battle it out in some of the latest games, and he usually kicks my butt. I'm not going to lie, but we have a lot of fun broadcasting some of the fun games that we play, and we hope you'll come watch and join us as well. And then if you're looking for a night to interact and join the fun on my Twitch channel, that's Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern. We play Jackbox Party 3. Don't worry if you don't know what these games are. They're very, very simple. Pardon me. You interact through the chat channel. We were playing, I think we're going to be playing some murder horror trivia. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And marbles on stream. We have a marbles race. And this all happens every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern, and then randomly throughout the week. So come out and have some fun. Really excited for this. I announced it a couple of weeks ago. If you don't have time to watch, you can take me on the road with you. I'm now available on Spotify. All you got to do is go on Spotify and type in the show with David Burrows, and then you can follow. Take me in your car, or take me wherever you want to go. Once again, happy to be on Spotify. All right. Well, I got to get out of here because coming up in a little bit later on, I will be broadcasting live from Sarnia City Hall. Hoping to go live around 6 o'clock if all goes well, and I'll be interviewing different people. If you haven't voted yet, this is the last chance to get out and vote. Polls will close at 8 o'clock, and within minutes, seconds even after, we will have the results of a new council. Will we have a new mayor? What changes will come from this municipal election? But you still have your chance to say. And if you're not sure who to vote for, you still got time to get online and do some of your research. And if you didn't get your voter's card, come on down to City Hall, bring your ID with you, and you'll be able to get your voter's card, as this is the first time it's electronic voting, and it seems to be going well. Turnout has been fantastic. We're over 37%, likely going to hit the 40% mark by 8 o'clock tonight, which is a fantastic turnout. So on my Facebook page here, it'll only be on Facebook. It won't be anywhere else. Come over and watch as I broadcast. It's called Municipal Perspective, as we keep you updated with the election results of 2018 municipal election here in Sarnia. Whew. That was a fantastic show. Let's recap. I want to say thanks to my friend JD Booth. Be sure to check him online at lambtonshield.com. And he also invites you to reach out to him if you want to know more. And now he has his new publication called Lambton Shield. It's the magazine. This is enhancing to what already exists with Lambton Shield. Thank you, JD, for joining me earlier this week. And then, of course, we had Dave Brown from Way of Sarnia-Lambton. They're always looking for donations and support, and maybe just want to be a volunteer as well. They'll always take volunteers. They're on the campaign trail to raising $2 million, as they did last year. They're a little bit behind, so if you want to help them out, just find them on Facebook, or like Dave said earlier, just Google United Way Sarnia-Lambton, and the first one pops up there. And then, of course, the wonderful and fun ladies, Stephanie Purdy and Cecile Robb, talking about the Ladies Fall Expo that's happening this Wednesday. I'll be there broadcasting live before it starts and during a bit of it as well. So hope you'll come out, have some fun, get your groove on with Stephanie there. And there's a fashion show for the ladies as well, and you can get some of that Christmas shopping done. And don't forget to vote. It's important that you do that. I'm not going to lecture. You know why you should. All right. Well, there you go. That's all the time I got for you this week, everybody. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I'll talk to you next time right here on the show live. Bye for now.